Hey guys, this is a gentle cool down flow. So really good for the end of your workout or just the end of your day, the end of a long weekend, anything where you need or want to down regulate your body and your nervous system. So you're gonna start on your hands and knees, tabletop position. So you wanna move the knees right underneath your hips, your wrists under your shoulders. You're gonna start to let your belly drop down, lift your chin up, lift your tailbone up, take an inhale, and tuck your chin around your spine and exhale. Again, breathe in, really stretch out the front of the body as you lift your chin up. And breathe out, spread your shoulders apart and try to press into the ground. One more time, deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. Then come back to a neutral spine here, a flat back. Take an inhale, tuck your toes underneath. And as you exhale, lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And you can kind of just hang out here for a minute. Pedal your feet a little bit, move your chin right and left. You can bend both knees at a time. Maybe you start to pull both heels down. Just kind of feel it out in your own body. And you're gonna look forward and lift your heels up and just take a bunch of little steps to get to the front of your mat. At the front of the mat, separate your feet so that there's about 2 fists width distance between your feet. And then bring your fingertips onto your shins and lift up halfway to a flat back and just hang out here for a second. Pull your shoulder blades back, reach the top of your head forward, and shift your weight back into your heels. And then try shifting your weight a little bit forward into your toes, and then find center right over your arches. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, release, drop your arms down, drop your head down. One more time like that. Hands to shins, lift up halfway, breathe in. Breathe out, bring your hands to the ground, step your left foot to the back of the mat. Lower your left knee down to the ground and bring your hands inside of your right foot. So you can heel toe your right foot to the right. You can even roll on to the outer edge of that right foot and let your hips come forward and down. You can stay here, you can come onto the left hand and take your right hand to the inner thigh. Maybe look over your right shoulder. And then bring your right hand down. You're gonna stay here on your palms, or you start to lower down to your forearms or your elbows. If you've got like a towel or a prop, you could rest yourself up on that prop. You can stay up on your hands and let your head hang heavy, but just let this go kind of passive here for a moment or two. And take a deep breath in. Out your mouth, take a little exhale, just release some tension. And you're gonna start to peel yourself back up to your hands. And heel toe your right foot to the center of the mat so that your hands come now to either side of that right foot. Come onto your fingertips, tuck your back toes and start to shift your hips back. You're gonna start to walk your hands back. Shift your hips back and flex your right toes. So your hips don't have to go super far back. Maybe they stay up kind of high. Maybe you sit your hips back a little bit lower. Just find what's gonna feel good in the back of your right leg. We're focusing on the hamstrings. And even into the lower back here, you can let your forehead drop down. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, shift your chest towards the right leg. So you can even think of reaching your left rib cage towards the right side. And breathe in. Let your head drop for this next breath out. And you're gonna walk your hands forward. And plant your palms and tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, take a deep breath in, look forward, and as you breathe out, you're gonna step your left foot forward, feet together at the front of the mat. And then take an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, hands down to the ground, step your right foot to the back of the mat and lower the right knee down. Same thing, let's bring the hands inside your left foot, slide that left foot over as far as feels good for you and your body. And then you can let that left foot kind of come towards the outer edge. You can relax the back foot behind you, or you can tuck the toes, find what's gonna feel good and stable for you. And then take a couple of breaths, relax the front of your right hip. And then you can stay or take that left hand to the inner thigh. You can rotate your left shoulder towards the left side. Maybe even look past your left shoulder. And then come back down. Left hand down. Stay on the palms or come down to one or both forearms, depending on how it is for you. For me, my hips are a little too tight to get that far down. And wherever you're at, try to relax your fingers. So especially if you're up here on the palms, you're gonna keep the elbows from locking out, and you can take the pressure out of your wrist by just kind of shifting the weight around in the hands a bit. And then press back up onto your palms. And you're gonna start to walk the left foot to the center of the mat. So your hands will come to either side of that left foot. And tuck the back toes to give yourself a little stability there. Shift your hips back, walk your hands back with you, and start to flex your left toes towards your nose. Pull your left hip back and start to fold yourself just a little bit closer and closer to your left thigh. And you can explore taking your chest directly forward, slightly to the left, a little deeper to the left. You'll feel it in the different places in the back of your left leg, your hamstrings. And then for the last couple of breaths, try to relax your neck so that your forehead starts to draw down. You can relax your lips, your jaw. And you're gonna walk your hands forward. Tuck the back toes, lift your back knee, and then you're gonna step forward again to the front of the mat. Separate the feet to about hips width apart. Take an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, and then exhale to just fold. Keep a little bend in the knees and grab for opposite elbows. Let your head hang heavy, and you can move your chin right and left, maybe up and down. Take a little sway, a little rock. And take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Release your fingertips down. Bring your fingertips to your shins, lift up halfway, flat back, breathe in. Bend your knees, bring your hands down, and step back to a top of a push-up or a high plank position. You're totally welcome to bring your knees down right away, or just hold that position, shoulders over wrists, pull your belly button in. Look forward just slightly, take a deep breath in. Lower your knees down, point your toes, and lower your chest all the way down to the ground. And you're gonna keep the tops of the feet down, and lift the palms up, take an inhale, just peel your upper back up. And as you exhale, hands down, you can lower your forehead down. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. Palms up, chest up, back of your neck up, and forehead down, palms down. 1 more time, deep breath in, roll your shoulders back, reach your elbows back. Deep breath out and lower. Use your hands, push through your knees to a tabletop. Tuck your toes, breathe in. Lift your hips up and back to downward dog. It's your second set here, so you can pedal it out again. See if maybe there's a little bit more room in the back of the legs. If it feels good, move your head around. And then when you're ready, bring your right knee to your right wrist and slide your right shin across your mat so that your right foot goes towards the left side. Lower your shin down, lower your back knee down, And you can stay here in a pigeon pose and just fold forward here. But if you're feeling anything weird in the knee, bend your back knee and come into that deer pose so that your right hip is down on the ground, your right shin is down, and the back leg is down on the ground. So you can stay upright and kind of feel it out a bit, or start to walk yourself forward, and same thing, you can walk your hands over one way and the other way. And eventually find somewhere that you could hang out for a little bit longer without like straining your neck or your shoulders. So maybe you just let your head drop, rest your head down, or prop it up onto your hands or even up onto a towel or something. Try to focus on your exhales here. So the exhales being really long and slow. Those exhales are really helpful in down-regulating and kind of calming the nervous system. And then start to peel yourself back up. If you were in pigeon, go ahead and lower the right hip to the ground. You're gonna keep this right hip on the ground and bring your left leg out to the side. You're gonna slide or adjust yourself so that your right foot is just inside your left thigh. And then flex your left toes. And if you need to bend that left knee a lot, no problem, keep it bent, but keep that left leg active. You're gonna bring your left elbow just inside your left thigh. Bring your right hand to your hip, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you're gonna start to lean towards the left side. It might feel good to keep your hand on your hip. You may wanna take it up towards the sky. Back behind the head is nice, or even up and over. We're trying to lengthen out the back of the left leg, the inner thigh, but also the side body. The low back, the QL, all of that area that gets tight. And send it some deep inhales. And maybe you fold a little further as you exhale. And stay here for 3 or 4 more deep breaths. Try to keep your head relaxed or your neck relaxed. So maybe that means supporting your head or letting it softly drop down. You're welcome to turn your chin one way or even up to the other way. And then you're gonna come all the way back up. Cool. Bring your hands to the ground, make your way back into a tabletop and up into a downward facing dog. And we'll do that same thing on the second side. So your left knee goes to your left wrist. Shin goes across the mat, back knee goes down to the ground. You can stay in pigeon here if that feels okay in your front knee, or lower the back knee, your left hip down, bend your right knee and kind of pivot the shin across, and you can start to lean forward, lean over one way. Same thing, you're just searching out, seeking for some sensation in the outer edge of the left hip. You'll notice a difference if you flex your feet, if you press the outer edges of the feet down. So because this is cooling down, you can let this be pretty relaxed. You don't have to put a lot of extra effort or forcing into it. If your elbows are on the ground, take them a little bit wider so you can relax the shoulders away from your ears. And you're gonna start to peel yourself back up. Keep your left hip or lower your left hip down to the ground and then sweep that right leg out to the side and slightly out ahead of you. Slide the left foot inside the right thigh. Right elbow rests just gently, it doesn't have to go down all the way. Left hand to your hip and start to lean towards the right side and figure out the placement of that left hand or arm that's gonna feel good on this side. If you find that your shoulders start to kind of shrug up around your ears, just drop the hand down. You don't have to worry about it here. And you're flexing that left foot, trying to press the back of the right foot and trying to press the back of your right thigh down. In whatever position your head is in, try to relax your jaw. And come all the way back up. We're gonna bring the hands around to the front one more time and step your feet back, come into downward facing dog again. And this is one last down dog, one last little cycle here so you can take your time with it. And come forward to the top of a push-up or that plank modification. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, lower your chest down. And inhale to baby cobra, and you're gonna stay this time. You can stay here or just start to gently peel your chest up a little higher. Try to keep your jaw relaxed, your neck relaxed, and there shouldn't be any tension or pinching in the lower back. And then you're gonna lower your chest back down and push yourself this time into a child's pose. So your hips go back to your heels. You're welcome to take your knees wider if that feels good for you. Even knees together is fine. And your elbows can rest down on the ground, but if it's a strain for you to come all the way to the ground, pull something up underneath you, a block, a wall ball, a rolled up towel, but try to let yourself rest like totally heavy on the ground. And you're gonna curl yourself all the way up. And from a seated position, shift your hips off to the side and let's move to the front of the mat so we have a little bit of room. You're gonna bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. And it's okay if your knees come up really high. If you feel like your knees are almost close, then roll up the back of your mat or even sit yourself up onto a towel again. And then you can bring your hands either around your feet or back behind you, just whatever's gonna let you sit up really tall. You're gonna try to keep a long spine here at first. So take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, lean forward just a little bit, like just a micro bend. Breathe in, pull your shoulders down. Breathe out, reach your chest forward. One more time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And you're gonna take the arms forward. Let your elbows drop, let your hands relax, let your forehead drop. You can relax your ankles, let your knees kind of get a little bit closer to the ground. And let your head move a little bit right and left. Roll your chin right and left. And then curl yourself up slowly. We're gonna use your own two hands to help you bring your knees together. Bring your hands by your hips and lay yourself down onto the ground. And here from the ground, keep your knees bent so that your feet are flat on the mat. You're gonna bring your arms down by your side. Try to keep the knees at about hip width, your feet at about hip width. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift your hips up. So it's just a gentle little hip extension. Inhale, lower your hips back down. Exhale, push through your feet, push through your palms, lift your hips, squeeze your glutes. One more time, lower your hips down, breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're gonna lift your hips up. Keep your hips up, take your arms up and over your head, lift your hips a little bit higher, breathe in. And then lower your hips all the way down. And bring the right ankle to rest on your left thigh and flex your right foot. Bring your hands down and interlace your fingers behind your left hamstring. So keep this right foot flexed, really important to protect your right knee. And just gently start to pull your left knee in towards your left shoulder. You can use your right elbow against your right thigh, gently press it away. You can even use the right palm to just kind of open up the outer edge of the right hip. And you're gonna slowly let that go and switch sides. Left ankle to the right thigh. Hands behind the right hamstring, pull it in. And really, it's plenty to leave the foot on the ground and not even pull the right leg in. If you feel any pain in the left knee, just keep your foot down on the ground and definitely make sure this left foot is flexed. Otherwise, draw the right knee in a little bit closer with your exhales. And let that go. Release both feet down to the ground. You're gonna take your right leg to wrap and cross over your left leg so that you're crossing through the inner thighs. Push your feet down into the ground, take the arms out to the side, and lift your hips up, move your hips towards the right, let your knees roll over towards the left. If that feels like it's just pulling too much in your hips or in your back, unwrap the legs. You can just take the side twist with the knees together. Otherwise, let the weight of your legs start to roll your hips towards the left and take your right arm towards the right side. Look over your right shoulder. You can stay there or lift your head and turn your right ear to the ground. And come all the way back to the middle. You're gonna come back to the middle, scoot your hips to the middle, and wrap your left leg up and around the right. Push your feet down and scoot your hips over to the left side. Let your knees drop to the right, arms go wide, and look over the left shoulder. And again, you can unwrap the knees if you need to. You can stay or you can lift your head and then lay your left ear down on the ground. And come all the way back to the middle. And bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop out wide. You're gonna keep the arms out wide, turn your palms to face up and slide your shoulders under. You can roll your head gently to the right and to the left until you find that sweet spot in the back of your neck where your whole spine is really long. Take an inhale through your nose. Out your mouth, a little exhale. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. And bring your hands just outside your knees. Use your hands, pull your knees together, and roll yourself over to the right side. Use your hands and And peel yourself all the way up. And then come up into a seat. And have the best rest of your day ever.